What's up? What's up? What's up, sports world? Listen, you already know Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show is brought to you by WDMP Radio and WDMP TV. Of course, it ain't gonna never change. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in on this phenomenal Monday. I got two shows for y'all today. I owe y'all this because lately I've been super busy, but shout out to everybody that's here right now. Like and share the show, bring a plus one, a drink, a snack, and all that good stuff because I definitely got some sports talk for y'all. And man, I'm glad to be back on the ones and twos, trying to figure life out. Things is a little different. I'm in a transitional period at this moment in time, looking to do bigger and better things. And of course, you get a little flack here and there. You get a little uh, back, you get a little fight when you're trying to do things positive and do things better and more efficient and things of that nature. But again, hey, we still here. We're gonna still push. We're gonna keep doing what we do. And shout out to everybody that's tuned in. And by the way, uh, happy birthday to Melissa Pompey, by the way. Palm Joy. Shout out to you. Happy birthday to you. I wanted to put that out there right now. Melissa, what's good? I see you. Ron, what's good? Marcus, I see you. Josh, what up? Make sure you like and share the show. I have not yet been able to really fully share the show, but I know you could see the new. Okay, and I'm not talking about ATL new neither. Ron, you know, this is all new stuff because we are in a new sports season, and I want to make sure give you the latest and greatest and put my time and effort into some things when I have a chance to. I will show you during the show a couple of new creations that we came up with. And of course, it is sports season, folks. It is really sports season, for real, for real. I mean, it's always sports season, but this is like the ultimate, the unlimited sports season. So, where you got everything going on right now. So, with that being said, man, topics. I got some topics today right here on Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show to talk about for sure. Put your comments in the comment section because this one is going to be a scourger. I'm gonna give you, okay, I'm gonna give you the little schedule on what we're gonna talk about on this show, and then we're gonna go further. So first and foremost, we are gonna talk about the CBA NFL new rule in which if you still have some type of college credit. I'm calling it college credits. If you have um, eligibility as it pertains to college sports, if you are not drafted and you're waived, you could go back to college. If an NFL team does not keep you on their roster after the offseason, there is good possibilities that you can go back to college. Um, in fact, the Cleveland Browns just had a guy, and I'm gonna look up his name later. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all look it up. Put it in the comment section if you know who I'm talking about. That's going back to LSU because he ain't gonna make the roster, and he's going back to LSU. This is a interesting rule. I've never heard of this rule before. This is brand new. I think this is going to be groundbreaking for a lot of teams because obviously, during off season, teams pile up at least 83 players minimum, but you really can only have 53 on a roster by the time week one starts. So that's 30 players times 32 teams. That's around like 1,100 players almost. And majority of them probably still have eligibility with the NCAA, and they can go back to college and play out their eligibility if they want. That is very interesting to say the least. Is it a good thing? Put it in the comment section if you believe it's a good thing. But I'll talk about it a little bit more on the show. So I just want to let you know that's something we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson and the Browns today. Going to talk about Deshaun Watson and all the flack and all the news hype about Deshaun Watson and the Browns. We're going to talk about Etna's cancer today, too. Etna's Cancer, Sophie Cunningham, the Natasha Cloud situation. And we're going to talk about the WNBA MVP race. Okay, we're going to talk about those 4 things on the show. By the way, Monday Night Madness will be on at 7 o'clock. Okay, different show from Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show. All right, it will be on at 7 o'clock. I'm doing 2 shows today, 5 and 7. All right, so let's kick this thing off. I want to kick this thing off with the Etna's Cancer thing. I know y'all like talking football, but I want to kind of say the best for last. I want to get these out the way right now. Okay. First and foremost, hopefully you can hear this.
And Sophie Cunningham shot a 3, and I put my hands up to celebrate, right? Literally a couple position later, Natasha came back and started screaming and yelling and said, "She's not going to sleep with you." I just got up, and then I was like, "I'm just here to protect women, and that's all," right? And then she started to yell. She started to use some very heavy language. She started to actually cuss. And I was very shocked that there were a lot of kids and there were a lot of teenagers was at that game. And I just cannot believe that she was just cussing and using those F-bombs in front of all these kids. Security guy, came, and then I was like, "Listen, you need to leave." I was like, "Can you please tell me why do I need to leave?" They said, "Look, you just need to leave." And they literally, I don't want to say they dragged me, but like they pretty much like pushed me to leave the gym. Sophie, I put my hands up.
That is Etna's Cantor explaining what he did yesterday. By the way, if you are a WNBA fan, put it in the comment section right now. If you watch the WNBA, put it in the comment section. The WNBA is getting hot, and when I say hot, I mean hot lava. On the dramatic side, on the dramified side, it's getting it's elevating in drama. It's elevating in play. The play is getting elevated phenomenally. A lot of players in the WNBA are making the WNBA more interesting. Something I said was going to happen. For those who decide not to listen, I don't know. Listen more, damn it. I don't know. Open your ears. I told you this was going to happen. That the WNBA is going to get more interesting. And now a lot of people want to watch the WNBA and even cover it. I see more videos on the WNBA than a little bit now. So the gameplay is getting better. The rivalries are getting better. You need some rivalries in any sport to drive what you're trying to drive. And the WNBA is only 30 years old. They're trying to drive, they're trying to make up for time, and they're trying to get interest. You need some rivalries. I'm okay with it. As long as they playing basketball, it's cool. You're gonna have some moments in any sport and any time where you're gonna have buffoonery linger and rear its ugly head. And this is one of those moments. I told y'all weeks ago. I think Marcus the Alphabets, you should know this. We had this conversation about Sophie Cunningham even bringing this up to the forefront to begin with. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. A lot of people got a lot of agendas when it comes to certain things. First and foremost, let's be real. And I like to be real on the show. I like to be straightforward. You know, we like to add the controversial conversations. Do trans women in sports is not a big topic right now. Name how many transgender athletes across the board in sports is talking about they want to play in leagues that is of scrutiny right now. Name them. This wasn't even a hot topic, but Sophie Cunningham had to go ahead, open her big mouth when it wasn't even a topic, and then bring this up out of nowhere, which now has started this whole situation with now Etna's Cancer, who is now trolling people. By the way, if you did not understand what Etna's Cancer was trying to do, even though he's a moron for doing it. Like, he's a moron. There's a time and a place, and there's a platform for everything. That's how I feel. There's a time, place, and platform for everything. You heard him say that there was kids there, yada, yada. Well, I feel like if you knew that there was kids there, then this probably wasn't the best place to try to put your agenda on display. Again, I get what you're trying to say. You're literally trying to protect women by coming out there saying, is this what you want? You want people like me to play? Because he's trolling, acting like he's going to enter the WNBA draft somehow. Former Oklahoma City Thunder player, 7-foot player, thinking that he's going to enter. He's trolling. He's not entering a damn thing. They are not letting him. And in fact, I was a little annoyed because I have not heard from Kathy yet on this situation. But then I just read this not too long ago, and it says, Agnes Cancer Freedom and Royce White, 2 former NBA players, are not eligible to play in the WNBA according to the league. These 2 draft declarations are labeled as publicity stunts, and there is no immediate eligibility matters to address. Okay, so now that we got that under wraps, and we got that understood, now you can understand kind of what he was trying to prove. Remember, we had this conversation about it's not how you say it sometimes, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and then sometimes when you say it. Dude, this is not the time nor place. By the way, there are folks on social media who said that the announcers didn't even know he was in the building. Yes, they did. They announced it. Listen, go back and watch the game. They literally announced that he's there. In fact, they start talking about the whole situation because they started announcing that he was there, taking away from what was more important, which was the basketball game, which I think is absolutely buffoonish for media. And Kathy could have got in front of this. I feel like she should have been in front of this. By the way, where is Kathy? Somebody get an APV out for this commissioner. I have not heard her come out with a lot of stuff that's going on in your league, which is the reason why I ultimately think that she's going to get fired at the end of the season. There's going to be a new commissioner, and I'm almost sure of it. I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. And you're right, Dwayne. We do not need dudes playing in women's sports. They're freaking weak men. Yeah, I totally agree. 110%. I get what Agnes Cancer is trying to say, but it's the time and the place. And then Natasha Cloud went off, by the way. If I am Chicago's coach, I am highly pissed off. By the way, Chicago was still in the running to try to make a playoff spot. And you're playing the Indiana Fever. Didn't we just have a rivalry situation with Indiana and Chicago not recently with DeJounte Carrington and Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark in past and DeJounte Carrington and JC Sheldon? Then we had us play freaking basketball. Like, this situation should not be taking away from what is the playoff race for the WNBA. And I just think that it's absolutely ridiculous. It undermines exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And I don't think that this was the time nor place for that. There's podcasts for that. You got podcasts. There's apps for that. No offense. But I don't think that this was the time. I really don't, honestly. And then you have a whole entire team that literally just pretty much fell into the situation, which I didn't like at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. You see here, obviously, I'm gonna play
right before the break.
I'll let you see the video. You don't need to hear what she say. Pretty much in a nutshell. Obviously, you see Natasha Cloud down there, Agnes Cancer with his arms out. I mean, that picture spoke 1,000 words. Do you see the wingspan on this dude? Do you see how big he is compared to them? Can you imagine that? I get the message that he was trying to send. Bad message, bad time. Caitlin Clark over there cracking up too. She's smiling from ear to ear. We're gonna talk about her later on too. We're gonna get to her too. But Yeah, this is just not the time nor place. I don't think that this was in good taste at all. I think he's a buffoon. I get the message might be the right message, but it's buffoonish. And thanks to Sophie Cunningham once again, opening her big mouth. We got to have conversations that really didn't need to be had at this moment in time. Total distractions, by the way. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now to Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. Your thoughts, put them in the comment section. Of course, you know who I am, Andre the Torch Robinson, the Firestarter. Here we are on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll be putting this on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, yada yada yada. Again, sports season here. We talking about Aetna's cancer. If you just tuned in to the show, Aetna's cancer, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Cloud, and this whole transgender trans conversation, trans sports conversation. Again, because again, people are doing things in bad taste again. All right. Shout out to Jennifer. I see you. Dwayne was good. Deborah was good. I see you. Dalton, what's up? What's up? Again, like, share. Okay. Like, share, +1. Get your drink. Get your snack. 2 shows coming up. Okay. 2 shows. Monday Night Madness coming up right after this one. Okay. Right after this, you're going to get Monday Night Madness. And of course, I'm going to show you this because I think it's the perfect time to do so. Yep. Looks like it's going to be a long sports season coming up. By the way, just some of the things that we created, I created today. All right. You see it. World Class Wednesdays. You already see it. You see Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show up here. Yep. You see it. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on this sports season, okay? A lot of things going on. All right, yep. You see them. I'm going to put them up here just so you see. Monday Night Madness. My guy, Coffee Talk. Man, listen, love it. Veteran ran podcast. Yes, he is. 7 years in the making. Shout out to you for that. A lot of people don't do 1 year. A lot of people don't do 2. A lot of people don't do 3. He's got 7 years and 10 years with us. So shout out to that. Shout out to Marcus the Alphabets and all the content creators that have been consistent with what they're doing. Ramona Dye, Mookie. Shout out to Mookie, by the way. Let me put this out there. I was on Morning Coffee show that he had this morning on the radio. Shout out to Mookie Hawkins. You know, we stay connected. Some folks need to learn loyalty. I don't know. We have conversations of loyalty, but nevertheless, we got a lot going on. All right. And if you're just tuning in, make sure you like and share, like I said. All right. Moving right along, because I did not want to give that situation too much time on the show. Because once again, it's 2 shows today. Not 1, 2. All right. Let's get to this. We gonna get to this. We got to get to this. And again, WNBA is getting hot, and I mean hot. This conversation, I'm gonna need a drink for this one. It's nothing like sour sop lemonade. Some of y'all probably don't even know what that is, but again, try it. All right. WNBA race. Woo-hoo! Lord have mercy. All week long, all week, and I mean all week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've been getting nothing but comments on Threads, on Facebook, on Instagram about this MVP race. Now, obviously, the big foe. Shout out to Flajay, by the way, Flajay Johnson, up and coming, by the way. Y'all got to give her some props. I'm be honest. One of the phenomenal players that I keep talking about, the WNBA, one of the phenomenal players. Again, NBA MVP race. You see 4 players up here. All right. You see Caitlin Clark. You see Olivia Miles. You see Kelsey Mitchell, Asia Wilson, and you see that's it. But I'm gonna be honest, there should be a fifth on here. And the fifth is Paige Beckers. Okay. The fifth person is Paige Beckers, who should be on here in consideration, in conversation. I'm putting her in here. If you don't like it, too damn bad. I don't care. I know what the hell I'm talking about. If there was 5 people to be considered, Paige Beckers is the 5th one. Okay. So we're gonna consider her. We're gonna put her in this conversation as well. Put it in the comment section. If you are a WNBA fan and you watch enough, you should be able to tell me who your MVP is for this season. Again, this has been a phenomenal season, and it's coming down to the wire, by the way. A lot of playoff seeding is still to be decided. Again, heating up. I love things that heat up. Okay. Fire starter for a reason, the torch for a reason. Okay. I like when things heat up, and it is heating up for sure when it comes to these 4. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to say. And this is probably going to get some flack, but I don't give a damn. I want all the smoke. Okay, Mr. Chicken Tendies and French fries. I want all the smoke. Joshua Bailey, what's up? Dwayne, I see you. You said if the WNBA keeps getting popular, they will probably expand the regular season longer and make the quarters longer too. Yeah, they're adding more teams. More teams is coming. Don't worry. More teams is coming, which means they're going to have a longer regular season. Actually, this year, I think, what did they have? 44 games. I think it was 40 before. It's 44 now. I expect it to be 50 coming up within the next year or two. I expect it to be 50 games, especially with what we're seeing. We are now seeing that we are in the era where people are starting to support their own teams even more. Not this whole driven Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody's watching the WNBA BS. I'm tired of listening to that. Tired of hearing it. It's been debunked 1,000 times over, and I'm tired of hearing that. But we're going to get to this race, right? So, y'all not gonna like, some people not gonna like what I got to say, but I'm gonna explain all 4 of these. And I'm gonna explain Caitlin Clark last for a reason. Okay. So if I had to pick who is the WNBA MVP right now, if I had to pick, it's A'ja Wilson. Again. Okay. We're not about to do this whole thing where, a lot of folks back a couple years ago said LeBron James should be the MVP every year. I mean, if you thought that, I wouldn't say that you would be wrong. Okay, all around player for the most part. I wouldn't say that you're wrong. When it comes to A'ja Wilson, we're not doing that when it comes to the WNBA. A'ja Wilson not only is the champ, by the way, the reigning, defending champ, but this year she's averaging 26 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, damn near 2 steals. Her on and off the court. And I'm going to use this metric because this metric is important for those who don't understand, who don't fully understand the metric or basketball metric. The on off the court plus minus is super important to this conversation. When A'ja Wilson is on the floor, the Aces are a plus 11. When she's off the floor, they're a minus 9 minimum. Okay. I'm going to show you some of these stats in a minute. And the numbers may be here or there, hit, miss, but it matters. Okay. It all matters. Not only did I just give you offensive stats, but let's talk about A'ja Wilson defensively. A'ja Wilson defensively has been Defensive Player of the Year. Most likely maybe Defensive Player of the Year again this year because of her defensive prowess. And she's a certified, known leader. On top of the fact that she is in GOAT conversation, GOAT status. Okay. She is in GOAT conversation. We cannot take that away when we're talking MVP, most valuable player. If you took A'ja Wilson off of the Aces right now, where would the Aces be? Honestly, where would the Aces be? I highly doubt that they would be number 3 right now in the WNBA. I highly doubt it. I'm willing to put my check on it that they would not be number 3 in the race. Not at all. So that's just for starters. Okay. And I wrote a whole article. By the way, you can get these articles on www.buff CHALL news NEWS at .com. It's that simple. Rise Up Right articles, you can get them. You can read them online. And there, if you're in the 716 region, you can read them in the Challenger News. I wrote an entire article about this WNBA race. And yes, A'ja Wilson would be my pick right now. First and foremost, she would be my pick. I'm being real. Now, are there conversations to be had for the other folks? Absolutely. Absolutely. Are there arguments to be made for the other participants in this race? Absolutely. I'm going to tell you right now, Kelsey Mitchell definitely has a big argument on why she should be MVP. First and foremost, I'm going to give you offense. She averages 25 points per game, okay? Her coach literally said that she is carrying this Indiana Fever team. Now, a lot of people will not like to hear that, but I don't care if you don't like it. It's the God honest truth. If you watched the WNBA, you would know this. She is a 51% from the floor player. She is a 44% three-point shooter and almost a 90% free throw shooter, which makes her one of the 50, 40, 90 players potentially in the league. That's not an easy thing to do, being a 50, 40, 90 player. On top of the fact that she guards the best perimeter player every single night. Every single night. And remember that plus minus I told you about? Kelsey Mitchell's plus minus is, I think, 11. And without her on the floor, it's -9. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna find some of these. I'm gonna find the stats for you in a second, so you have the definitive numbers. But I'm gonna give them to you from what I know. Bro, it's fire now. Yes. The WNBA is definitely on fire. Paul, what's good? Shout out to you. Definitely. Josh Bailey, what up, my G? I see you. Listen, Kelsey Mitchell has a major argument for MVP. Major argument. Now, let's move to the show, the spectacle. Let's talk about Olivia Miles. And by the way, we on the show. And before I talk about Olivia Miles, I'm going to give y'all a good 30 seconds to reflect real quick. 30 seconds to reflect on, Olivia Miles. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go ahead. 30 seconds. Let me find something real quick so y'all can reflect on Olivia Miles real fast. All right. 30 seconds. I'm doing all right. Yep, absolutely. 30 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. Did you reflect? Did you get your thoughts together? We good? Okay. All right. Now, Olivia Miles. Woo! Lord have mercy. This is, by the way, I'm gonna tell a secret that's not really a secret. I told y'all Marcus the Alphabets loves watching the WNBA now. He be watching it. Yeah, I'm telling it. Sorry, Marcus, telling. Olivia Miles is his favorite player. Yeah, it's his favorite player. He talks about her all the time. All the time. Telling you, Olivia Miles, that Olivia Miles. I tell you that. You can just imagine the conversations. Olivia Miles is phenomenal. The former Notre Dame TCU standout. Marcus can appreciate the TCU part. Standout has done nothing but elevate this damn brand. And a lot of y'all gonna say, oh, she's unmarketable. Bullshit. I'm tired of y'all thinking that the only people that can be marketable is straight folks. I'm tired of that. That is absolute buffoonery. Stop the bullshit. Okay? Straight folks ain't the only people that can market something. Okay? Her game speaks for itself. Let me just tell you a little story about Olivia Miles real quick. Olivia Miles, right? Got picked second overall. And there's a lot of people who think Dallas should have picked her, but I keep telling y'all, Dallas didn't need another point guard. Okay? Didn't need another point guard. When you have Arike Ogunbowale and you have Paige Beckers, first and foremost, Arike Ogunbowale was not sitting on the bench. She is a cornerstone player for the Dallas Wings and will always be. She's not sitting on the bench. You can stop this now. Paige Beckers, there's no way on God's green earth and on in heaven's gates that Paige Beckers is sitting the bench. Don't even think about it. There's no stretch of the imagination where that's ever happening. I promise you, it's not. Okay. So it would have been somewhat of an injustice or disservice to Olivia Miles to go to Dallas. She is in the right place and at the right time. Okay. Minnesota in the offseason not only had Napheesa Collier, who got injured in the playoffs, which is late in the season last year. She got injured in the playoffs. I think it was game 5 or 6 against the Aces, in which she got injured, or Phoenix, I'm sorry, the Phoenix Mercury. She got injured. Phoenix went on to win the series. And she wasn't supposed to be back for 9 to 12 months because of the injury that she sustained. On top of the fact that the Minnesota Lynx got rid of 40% of their scoring, 40%, okay, of their team. Scoring, gone, okay? Olivia Miles, as a rookie, comes in, and not only does she average 20 points per game, 6 assists, can guard very well, is a stealing machine, but she also elevated others' games to the point where the Minnesota Lynx right now have the same record that they did last year when they had plus 40% of their scoring and Napheesa Collier on the team, and yet they're still in the same position. If that doesn't sound most valuable player like to you, then I want you to give me the real definition of most valuable player. Because honestly, if Olivia Miles had not landed in Minnesota, Minnesota would not be the same team. Napheesa Collier just came back 2 weeks ago. Okay. This Minnesota team is 31-7 and on a 6-game winning streak, about to play Golden State tonight, by the way. And they're looking to clinch the number 1 overall seed, which they can do if they just keep winning. They'll clinch it and be in the number 1 spot again. Olivia Miles, the spectacle, the show, she deserves every bit of accolade. And by the way, y'all won't like the next comment that comes out of my mouth, but I'm gonna make it. Okay. Not only is she a tenacious player, phenomenal talent that should be respected. Olivia Miles has had regarded. I won't use regarding. You can't. I don't think it's something you can regard. Um, I don't even think it's arguable. Damn near. She has had the best rookie season ever for a WNBA player outside of the name of Candace Parker. Okay. Outside of the name of Candace Parker, she has had the best rookie season I have ever watched in WNBA history. And if she's named the WNBA MVP, she will be the first to do it since Candace Parker did it in 2008. Now, Candace Parker averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds when she did that. Okay. When she was at LA Spark. Olivia Miles averages 20 points per game, 6 assists. She gives you 3 rebounds a game. It's not her job anyway. Folks need to understand what certain positions' fundamental jobs are. And she guards. Because in Minnesota, you got a guard. Cheryl Reeves not playing that. She's not playing that. She'll sit you on the bench. Honestly. Olivia Miles is a history-making player. History-making player. She is historically in the category of greatest rookies of all time. Okay? Period. If that's not WNBA MVP consideration worthy, then we got to have new conversations. Okay? We need to have new conversations. All 3 of the people that I just named, leadership stands out to me. Leadership. Okay? They all have great leadership qualities. Which gets me to Caitlin Clark. And I promise you, a lot of y'all not going to like what I got to say. I know. Here it comes. Andre's just being Andre again. He's not a big fan of Caitlin Clark. I've heard these comments over and over. So I will start with the positives. Ready? Caitlin Clark has elevated her game, 21 points, 22 points per game, 8 assists, her best statistical season this year. The Indiana Fever are number 4 currently, might be number 5 after tonight if Atlanta wins, because of them in Atlanta, they're going back and forth with the 4-5 seed, which I told you, seeding can fluctuate. The 4 through 7, actually the 3 through 7 could fluctuate with 6 games left. Yeah, matchups can change at any moment. We can be pulling a lever and figuring out who's who last minute. You said Olivia Miles should win it for sure. Yeah, again, I wouldn't be upset if Olivia Miles won it at all. Again, I just explained totally why Olivia Miles should be an MVP considerable consideration. Okay. Yeah, Dwayne, I'm gonna say it like I mean it, because here it comes. And this is what people are not gonna like. But I again, as the fire starter, I have to be honest and truthful. Okay. Remember that plus minus I told y'all about earlier? I told y'all about plus minuses, right? When you mention MVP, right? Now, obviously, this dynamic is a little interesting because you have 2 Indiana Fever players on it. So we can't ignore it. We're not going to ignore it. There's 2 on here, okay? plus minus when you're on the floor and off the floor. The Indiana Fever offense is 9 points per game better when Caitlin Clark is not on the floor. And again, I'm going to show you these stats for you. Okay? I'm going to pull them up. In fact, there's a whole video on it. That, to me, alone speaks volumes. Because my question now is, how many of y'all out there that's watching right now would have anything defensive to say to give Caitlin Clark consideration as an MVP? Do anybody have any defensive thoughts on why she should be MVP? Okay, I already know. I'm going to take that as a no. That was a rhetorical question. I know. I shouldn't be asking rhetorical questions I already know the answer to. But there are some people who will try to probably give me a whole bunch of rhetoric on defensively why she should be MVP, which I'm going to tell you is straight blasphemous when you talk about the others that are in this race. It's blasphemous at best. Now, let's talk offensively. I just told you that the Indiana Fever are 9 points better without her on the floor per game against opponents. Their offense is 9 points better. How can you be the MVP when your team runs better with you off the floor? If offensively is what you're known for, if you're known for being an offensive prowess, because, by the way, let me bring up another metric that has never been brought up before until just 2 years ago. And that's the whole points created conversation. Listen, when you start making up different criterias, I start thinking agenda. And there's an agenda behind the points created agenda narrative. Here's the problem. When you create a narrative, you are susceptible for getting caught on that narrative. And you can't move the goalposts when it comes to that narrative. So let's talk about points created, because I've heard this narrative 1,000 times over. So points created is how many points per game you score plus your assist, right? Plus your assist. So Caitlin Clark this year is a 40.5 when it comes to points created, right? Means she accounts for 40 points, 41 points per game, right? Here's where I have a problem with that stat. Number one, it's skewed. If Marcus Betts was sitting right next to me on my left, or standing right next to me on my left, or Dwayne Woodley was standing right here on my right, and I decided to do this with the basketball. Look at my hands. Ready? Or handoff, or quick pitch. You see my hand? Or quick pitch the ball to, let's say, Kelsey Mitchell. And then Kelsey Mitchell dribbles, you know, she got the handles, dribbles, goes to the basket and gets a layup. That counts as an assist for me. Did I really create that basket, though? Did I really create that? Or did Kelsey Mitchell just drive 25 feet to the basket with exceptional handles, go to the basket and score? Or did I hand the ball off to Kelsey Mitchell and then she just shot a three? Did I really create that? Or did the player with the ball that I gave it to create that? So when you say player points created, I kind of a little gray area there. Okay, a little gray area. That's number one. Number two, if we're keeping up with that metric, last year Alyssa Thomas was 38.5, right? So 39 points. She accounted for 39 points per game, right? Here's where Alyssa Thomas landed on the MVP consideration. She landed third last year. But let me give you some more premise to Alyssa Thomas's last year. She also was top 4 in defense. She was number 1 in assists. She averaged, I think, 17 points per game. Her plus minus was a +8 when she was on the floor. And obviously, we all know Alyssa Thomas is one of the better defenders. Okay. And she was third in consideration. By the way, if we're talking about defensive prowess, Caitlin Clark is 74th. If we're talking about 3-point shooting, Caitlin Clark is not even in the top 20 in 3-point shooting. She's number 2 in assists, or tied for first in assists right now, and averages 21.7, which makes her third in the league in scoring. Mind you, there's one other thing that we talked about, and I said leadership. I'm sure we just watched the other night the New York Liberty game. Anybody watch that game? Anybody watch that? Did you see the New York Liberty game? Did y'all see the game, a couple games prior, where she missed 2 free throws and then did it again in the New York Liberty game? Here's what takes away from her: the flopping, the attitude. Now people are going to say, oh, it's her being competitive. No, I know what competitive look like, and I know what crybaby syndrome looks like. Yeah, she has crybaby syndrome, and she flops a lot, and she feels entitled on the floor, and it's annoying. To the point where if I'm Stephanie White, I gotta have some conversations at the end of the season because I'm highly annoyed by the antics. And you're supposed to be who people regard as the face of the league, and you want to be WNBA MVP. So let me dig a little deeper. I'm gonna dive a little deeper, not dig. I'll dive a little deeper because the hole is already there. The rabbit hole is there, so I'm gonna dive into it. A lot of folks don't realize that narrative of her being the MVP this year is just bigger than basketball. Let me explain it to you. It's very, and when I say this, you're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, I didn't think of that. Or, oh shit, yeah, I thought of that, and I'm not the only one, I guess. If the WNBA awards Caitlin Clark the WNBA MVP, my first question is, what is one of the biggest conversations that's been at large? Who's the face of the league, right? Whether it's A'ja Wilson or Caitlin Clark, right? A lot of people think that the rivalry is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It's really A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. A lot of people don't realize that, but it truly is. At the biggest, at the highest of plateaus of rivalries, it is Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson. And by the way, it was the Aces game when she missed those 2 free throws, other ones, in which Chelsea Gray buried them with 3-pointers in regulation and in overtime. But here nor there, let's get to the whole thing. Yes, SGA flops, and I mean flops. It's annoying. That's why I'm annoyed. I told you this last year. I was annoyed with SGA. I told you this. So I stay 10 toes down on my thoughts. Okay. I'm glad that you noticed. Vlade Divac and LeBron are legendary. Yes, they do. They flop, and it's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying as hell. And if you play basketball in any capacity, it's annoying. Okay. Flopping. Yeah, we don't really appreciate flopping. Okay. And if the refs are stupid enough not to be able to officiate flopping, then we have, hey, that's their issue. I don't wear black and white stripes, unfortunately. But it is a bigger issue because if you nominate Caitlin Clark as the WNBA MVP, right, you are now changing the guard from someone who is, and I hate to do this, but it's the truth, from someone who is black to someone who is white. And we obviously know the back story to Caitlin Clark's fan base and to others' fan base. Nominating Caitlin Clark as the MVP would most likely drive a certain culture to not want to watch, because a lot of people are going to say this is agenda driven and they're doing this on purpose. Now, if you've watched the WNBA for the last 2 years, we have significantly found out that this league is trying more and more to genderfy this league. Watch what they're doing with Sophie Cunningham. Watch how they posted the Trace Leches thing in the beginning of the year. Watch how they've been talking. Watch how they've been promoting. You see it clear as day. Watch the coaches. Remember we talked about coaches and how many people get coaching jobs and yada yada, GM jobs in a predominantly black league. It would give more reason for this league to genderfy it even more, because they know that Caitlin Clark is that much of a polarizing figure in this league. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, we cannot ignore the influence that comes with Caitlin Clark. So to do so would induce that type of response for certain people who watch. There is no way, and it's just me, there's no way that you will convince me that Caitlin Clark should be the MVP. Mind you, I haven't even gotten to Paige Bueckers, who has done nothing but elevate her team. She's a phenomenal two-way player. She's a 3-tier scorer. She's damn near a 50, 40, 90 player. And leadership comes into play when you talk about Paige Bueckers. For those reasons is why I better not see Caitlin Clark nominated as WNBA MVP. I better not see it. And there's still 6 games left, by the way. And seeding could change at any moment. And I would think, in some way, shape, or form, that your seeding matters. Okay? Most valuable player. It's not most valuable team. Here's something that also does not sit well. Remember, Caitlin was injured last year. So Caitlin preferably has had more rest than 95% of the WNBA players because she only played 13 games last year. The Indiana Fever was 1 basket away last year from making the finals. That doesn't help your cause, especially when this year you're a -9 when you're on the floor. That doesn't help you. Okay. How can you be the MVP when your team is better when you're on the bench? Offensively. And we ain't even talking defensively, because again, none of you have named one element of defense for her. So we're not even going there. All right. So to me, it is very simple. I know how difficult it can be for others. Probably, I'm gonna be honest, it's crazy. It shouldn't be this hard. All right. Let me see if I can pull them stats. Now, look at this creation. Look at this. Now, here's that points created thing that I was talking about. Again, agendas. By the way, prayers go out to Ed Oliver and his family. A situation that took place with his 2-year-old son. We send prayers, definitely. But here's more. See, more. Kelsey Mitchell. By the way, I didn't even mention this when I was talking about Kelsey Mitchell. She has 22 straight games of 20-point games. 22. That is a WNBA record. She has the most. She passed Asia Wilson, who had 20. She has 22 this season. Consistency, efficiency. Those words should mean and speak volumes. Okay. When I'm talking about WNBA conversations. Okay. Olivia Miles. Most efficient 25-5 game in WNBA history. Okay. We'll talk about AZ Fudd on another show. AKA Darko Milicic, according to some folks. I ain't gonna say his initials, but Marcus the Alphabets. Yeah. So this was the playoff picture, and it is pretty much the same right now, actually, except for the Mystics is 7th and Dallas is 8th. Depending on tonight, Atlanta is 5 right now currently. Indiana's 4, but it could switch with a Atlanta win over the Sparks tonight. It could go back. It could fluctuate again. Aces 3, Golden State 2, Minnesota 1, right? All right. And we're getting into our first hour of the show, by the way. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Again, by the way, this doesn't help your cause either. When Sophie Cunningham is 46% from 3. And you got the 4th best 3-point shooting stat on your team. That doesn't help. Okay. Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophia Cunningham all shoot the 3 better than Caitlin Clark right now, currently. That doesn't do you a service. Okay. Shucks. Oh, shucky ducky. I wanted to pull those stats, and I know I got them. I wanted to pull them stats. Before I start talking about NBA stuff, let me see. Who is this? Oh, yeah. In this cancer. Oh, yeah. Sophie Cunningham shot a 3. Yeah. That was that, but that's not what I was looking for, actually. All right. So Avoiding contact, flopping needs to stop in the NBA. It's like not hitting the quarterback in the NFL and taking. Oh yeah, yep. Hiding out of hockey. Yeah, yeah. Gotta stop it. It's annoying. I'll be honest. It's very annoying to say the least. Let me see if I can find the post. I know it's on here, and I know I got it. So I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna find it. See, I don't give up. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Oh yeah, NBA talk. We'll talk about that on Monday Night Madness. By the way, yeah, this was the game I was talking about earlier too. The Liberty, by the way, got to watch out for the New York Liberty. They are healthy right now. We'll talk about Atlanta Dream on the next show on Monday Night Madness too, because Angel Reese, Ryan Howard, and Alicia Gray right now tearing up the league. All those who was hating on Angel Reese, haters, a lot of haters hating on Angel Reese. Angel Reese got the most double doubles in a single season again. Killing the game right now. All right, I cannot find it right now, unfortunately. And I apologize, but I will find it and I will post it. All right. Terrible. I knew I had the stat. All right. So moving on. Do watch the WNBA. I hope the Aces take it all the way, and that includes MVP. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm not one who is going to sit here and pretend like Asia Wilson should not be the MVP again. I'm not going to do it. You're just not going to get me to do that. Not getting me to do that. Oh, here we go. I found it. I found it. Lord have mercy. I'm going to send it to myself right now. Boop. See, I told you, I don't give up on trying to find stuff. Never give up when it comes to trying to find things. Here it is, right here. I knew it. Bam. See if you got it right here. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, we're going to come off that for a second. Again, shout out to everybody that's tuned in to Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. They're the tongue twisters sometimes. Now here's them stats. Uh-huh. Noticeables. All right. So, okay. look at what I just told you. And it's even worse. I was a little off on the numbers. Plus 5.1 on the court, 12.8 plus when you're off the floor. 12.8 when you're off the floor. Offense is better. 13 points. Kelsey Mitchell, when she's on the floor, her plus 9. When she's off the floor, it's a -1. You see the difference? Asia Wilson, when she's on the floor, is 11, like I told you. When she's off the floor, it's -14. Olivia Miles, when she's on the floor, plus 14. When she's off the floor, it's +1. Damn near even. Do you see the problem that I have? Now, I told you, this is a major stat. Pay attention. How you going to be the MVP and your team 13 points better when you on the floor? When you off the floor? Make it make sense. Got to make it make sense. Don't try to have me doing mental gymnastics. You got to make it make sense. All right. With that being said, let's talk about Deshaun Watson and these Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about it. Lord have mercy. This morning I woke up. I woke up in love this morning. I woke up this morning to breaking news, which I don't really think it's breaking news, by the way. Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Know what my first thought was when I saw that? Do you know what my first thought was? My first thought was this is Cleveland doing, and it's the first time I cussed on the show. First time today that I cussed on the show. Notice I didn't cuss any other time until right now. This is Cleveland Browns. Typical. I don't want to win football games, but I want to rob y'all of y'all money. Because that's what I'm pretty much doing. With what I've been doing the last couple of years, I'm robbing y'all money. And then after that abysmal performance that Deshaun Watson put up against the Buffalo Bills, and I get it, it's preseason. I was like, it's preseason. Oh, he's healthy. He's healthy. He gives us the best chance to win because he's healthy. The mental gymnastics. Lord have mercy. Wow. It's like telling us that the horse piss you selling is ginger ale. Stop this. Are you kidding me? The Cleveland Browns organization has they're doing a whopping job on their fan base, by the way. Their fan base is booing him left and right. He's already gotten 200 plus million from you, and he's played 19 games. Where would you rank Deshaun? Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, that you know how grandma used to pat her hair? Hold up. Hold up. Where would you even rank Deshaun Watson amongst the 32 quarterbacks right now? Does he rank? Please, somebody put this in the comment section. I need this just for premise. I need it for premise purposes alone. Just PPO, okay? Premise purposes alone. Where would you rank Deshaun Watson? Where are we ranking this dude? Amongst the 32 quarterbacks, okay? And yeah, I needed extra drinking, and glad that I don't drink alcohol. Paul, you said 30-second. Hilarious. Hilarious. Where are we ranking this dude? Let me ask AI. I want to ask AI. Terry, what up? I didn't even know you was here. Terry, what's good? Shout out to you, Terry Taylor. You know, we be having sports conversations. Wait till Monday Night Madness. It's about to get even more real on Monday Night Madness. I promise you. Hey, AI, where would you rank Deshaun Watson amongst the 32 starting quarterbacks currently? Yo, yo, AI overview. And I quote, reads this. Deshaun Watson ranks near the bottom of the league. Genuinely sits, generally sitting at 31st or 32nd among. Jesus. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Somebody, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Somebody look at this. Somebody look at this. This man, AI got him ranked right where you said, Paul. Right where you said. Okay. Right where you said. Ron, I'll give you the time at Monday Night Madness. Right where you said. Big fat F. So hilarious. Truth be told, LOL. I just okay. I hate to do a Marcus the alphabets impression. I hate to do an impression. And I had this conversation with Mookie Hawkins this morning, too, about Deshaun Watson. But potential doesn't win football games. Okay? Potential doesn't win football games. The Cleveland Browns organization named him the starter based off the fact that he is potentially healthy. Boy, oh boy. Mind you, this is what Deshaun Watson had to say after all of the rigmarole. And this actually prior to being named the starter. Okay. This was 48 hours before he was named the starter. Okay. This is what Deshaun Watson had to say.
Man, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is, I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason. So I don't regret anything at all. But, you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So I'm not tripping on it. I'm not tripping on it.
Cleveland fans, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Cheering a person being injured is crazy work to me. But that tracks, though. That the same organization that ripped up LeBron James jerseys, booed him out of Cleveland when he left, when he went to Miami. Then the organization made a whole bunch of comments about him. This is the same city. I'm not shocked, not surprised, to be very honest with you. I myself have some Cleveland memoirs. I can tell you that city is a tough, crowd, to say the least. Shout out to my AAU basketball team that I coached years ago. We ran into a situation in Cleveland where we had to deal with some racism in Cleveland. I can tell you that Cleveland is not the easiest crowd, even though we came back and bust their ass, by the way. For those who want to know what happened. Yeah. Crowd was quite racist and made it very clear and known that they were racist during one of our basketball games in AAU. So it kind of tracks that behavior. I mean, in the second half, we came out, bust their ass, and beat them by 20, but they didn't like that, by the way. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by that. Like, that's, again, just bad form. But I feel like bad begets bad. Like, bad begets bad behavior. Like, bad behavior organizationally begets bad reactions, fan reactions. The fan base is a tough crowd. But I don't know if I'm muted or not. Hopefully you'll hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Before I say anything else, can you hear me? Am I still muted? Tell me I'm not muted, because I'm going to be annoyed. Okay, I'm not muted. All right, cool. So what I'm going to say is, Paul, you said I was at Seattle's Brown game and the fans were a bit bitter at me and my wife when the Browns hosted in 2019. Said loud and clear. Okay, cool. Again, it just tracks for me. Dwayne, I don't know why you can't hear me then, because I'm looking at my volume and it's up. It's good. We good. I'm actually listening to it while I'm talking. So that behavior tracks. Now, is it personal? Is part of it personal? Man, if this fan base don't stop lying, acting like it's not personal, it's personal and professional. We got to stop doing this. Like, both things can be true. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, no, it's just, you heard Dan Orlowski today going off. I mean, I heard him going off on First Take when I was listening to it earlier. Oh, yada, yada, yada. Oh, yeah, he's the worst.
Awful.
Cleveland fan base.
Keep making me
so mad at him. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay. Then another guy followed up. Let me see if I can get Dan Orlowski's conversation. Wow. He going in.
I am shocked.
Oh, here you
go.
Here we go.
I am shocked. I feel awful for the fans of the Cleveland Browns. I have no idea how you could witness what you witnessed in that press conference and it not be a part of your evaluation and decision. I think the world of Todd Monken. I think he's a great coach. I think the world of Andrew Berry. I think he's put together really good football teams. I have no idea how they can make this decision. I said if this was strictly a football decision, strictly football, 50-50. Start the guy you want. I'd be fine with it. Last week, I thought in preseason week 1, Deshaun played better than Shedeur. Week 2, it wasn't even close. Shedeur was markedly better than Deshaun. The performance this past Saturday by Deshaun was not good. It was candidly very poor. Mm-hmm. To have him have that interaction and make the comments that he made in a town, and Kimberly, you could speak to it better than I can, but like in a town, in a city, in a football fan base and franchise like Cleveland, and to sit there and be like, don't boo me, and it's more than just performance, the tone-deaf element of that, and then to name him the starting quarterback less than 48 hours out of it, I truly feel awful for that fan base because you can tell The fan base really likes Shedeur and wants Shedeur. And whatever reason why, I don't care. They don't with Deshaun. I'm shocked. I thought there was no way that they would name him the starting quarterback. I am shocked. I feel awful for the fans of the Cleveland Browns.
All right. So there you go. Yeah.
Awful for the fans of the Cleveland Browns.
Dwayne said he's not going to play well in Cleveland because he knows Cleveland fans don't like him. Why would I go out and put my body and health on the line for a fan base or city that don't like me? I agree. I just feel like, are we really being candid about this situation? Is everybody involved being honest? Because it doesn't seem like all parties are being honest. The Cleveland fan base isn't being honest. The organization ain't being honest with themselves. Deshaun Watson ain't being honest with himself. I just feel like this is so disingenuous, like all around, all across the board. All parties are quite disingenuous. The fact that you're booing somebody who gets hurt just speaks volumes to me. The fact that Deshaun Watson doesn't think that it's performance based and that it's personal is bedazzling to me. And then the Cleveland organization, knowing that both sides of the coin is true, isn't being honest with themselves either. Like, the only reason why you're starting Deshaun Watson is because you want to get something out of him because you done paid him $220 million, and people are saying that this might be the worst trade in NFL history. Like, you guys are not being honest with yourself at all. And I get it. Oh, you got to try to get something out of him. At what point do we say Shedeur, it's time to start Shedeur? At what point should you start Sanders? But you know what? They got so Cleveland, and then that was see, again, fan base, organization, disingenuous. Last year, it was so disingenuous what they did with Deshaun, not Deshaun Watson, but Shedeur. So disingenuous. Who was that? Kevin Stefanski? So disingenuous. Like, it just, again, this just breeds, this organization, this city is disingenuous. The fan base, disingenuous. Organization, disingenuous. He's being disingenuous. Like, I don't feel sorry for none of y'all. I don't feel sorry for no parties. I know I'm hearing people saying that they're not gonna show up for the home opener if he's starting. They're not showing up. I heard that. I heard people saying that. We're not showing up if he's starting. Come on, man. See, and I told y'all to watch The Climate. I keep telling y'all to watch The Climate. It's funny. It is so funny. Now we trying to riot and boycott Deshaun Watson too. Like, watch how these people moving, man. Watch. Some of this is more than just sports, man. Some of this is just sports. It's more than sports. Ill. Like, ill to me. Not cool. Not cool with this. No, I feel like I'm having a one of those. Sounds crazy. Y'all don't laugh at me for saying this. Oh, Dwayne, don't worry. I'm gonna let him get his 2 cents in on the next show. We got another show coming up in a half an hour. I feel like I'm having a midlife moment. And it's crazy. I don't want to do the whole, this is Marcus's realm of things when you talk about life in sports. Like that's his thing. I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to, but I have to say, I feel like, damn, for like anybody who is in between like 38 and like 30, maybe even 30, no, not 35, ill. Like 38 to like 52. I feel like we've witnessed like the craziest transition in like of all time, like history wise, all time. And I get people will be like, well, there was slavery, there was a Holocaust, there was this, that, and the third. And I know this is a sports show, but I just feel like we're like the whole entire world is being turned on its ear. Like the world is just spinning. How have we become so watered down, diluted? Like our sports is now being diluted in drama and politics and stuff that's just distracting to the phenomenal. What is supposed to be fun, exciting, peaceful element of sports in general. It's just weird. 20 years ago, you didn't hear all this shit. I don't know. All right. With that being said, we are in the hour and a half part of our show, Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. Again, that is always a tongue twister, but I love to say it over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, shout out to WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. Always will and forever live forever in eternity as long as I'm here. All right. Shout out to them. Shout out to y'all for tuning in and listening too. We're going to talk about one last thing real quick, and then I'm going to get ready for 7 o'clock's Monday Night Madness. Again, it's a season of sports. I hope is not filled with a bunch of dramatic soap opera city that's what it's coming to. That's what it's coming to. Damn it. Starting to come to that. Again, if you did not see this, I'm going to show it to you again. We got busy. Okay. Busy sports season coming up. As you can see, boom. World Class Wednesday is coming up Wednesday night. Make sure you tune in. All right. Me and Alphabet's going to be talking-ish. We're going to be talking big time. We're going to be talking. Oh, yeah, I forgot, Ryan, you'd be on another show. That's okay. We'll get up in due time. Matter of fact, we'll get up in due time. All right. World Class Wednesdays, y'all see it. It's coming. That's phenomenal, by the way. I'm just looking at the work. All right. Of course, you watching Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show right now. As you can see, got new designs, everything. All right. This show coming up. This show is coming up. Monday Night Madness. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm adding some trivia to this show, by the way. I'm going to add some trivia to the show. We have not did trivia in forever. I'm bringing it back. This year. Starting tonight. All right, starting tonight. 5 legitimate questions. Starting tonight. We're going to start with 5. All right. And then if y'all like trivia, if y'all like it even more, we'll up the ante. We'll ante up. All right. 5 trivia questions tonight. We'll talk a whole bunch of NFL stuff. I got stuff to talk about. I'll even get more into some of the WNBA stuff. I got some nicknames for folks. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. And then do not forget my guy Marcus the Alphabets. Don't forget his Alphabets Coffee Talk, right? 11:30 in the mornings, Monday to Friday. El Paso Strong. He's a veteran focused, community driven, veteran ran podcast. Yeah. You know what I like about this one? I like the fact that he put in the dumpster juice. Love it. Love the dumpster juice part. Love it. Free dental work. That's hilarious. All gas, no brakes. My guy, 5-2 on that. Big wins to bad calls. Yeah, I like it. A little bit of football and a little bit of life. For sure. All right. Make sure y'all tune into that. Mookie Hawkins, Coffee Talk on Mondays. Make sure y'all tune into that too. Again, 2026. Somebody doing something positive. Make sure you support. Let's look into one last thing. Give it about 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. I need to look into this whole new. You know what? Actually, I could find the video for you. I think it'll explain itself. It will explain itself. I told you I don't never give up on explanations. I meant on trying to find stuff. Okay. Let's find it. Because I'm sure Adam Scheffner could explain it pretty well. So let's find it. This can't. Boy, oh boy. Let's see here. There it is. See if we can get.
Well, we had Pete Thamel on Get Up this morning, and apparently there's a judge in Colorado that's going to issue a further ruling today. And I think there's a lot that's up in the air. What I do know from the NFL standpoint is that on Sunday, August 30th, that is the final NFL cutdown day. There are 32 NFL teams that essentially will be releasing 37 players each. That's 1,184 players. I don't know how many of those 1,184 players have used up all 5 years of their college eligibility, but I would venture to say probably not a lot. So you're talking about the prospect of multiple players who don't make it on the NFL rosters, then having the option, potentially, of going back to play in college football. And then there'll be cases where even a player who has the chance to join a NFL practice squad or even an active roster at the veteran minimum might opt to go back to college football. So college football programs now, as Pete Thamel alluded to, are actually looking at NFL teams and studying preseason tape to figure out how they might round out their roster. And if they're bringing in NFL players on September 1st, then that means they're cutting some players from their college programs. And we are living in an unprecedented Wild West world where it's gotten crazier and crazier. And this may be the single craziest moment that we've seen yet. Well, we had Pete Thamel on Get Up this morning, and apparently there's a judge in Colorado.
Wow. Things keep getting spicier and spicier. I will do some more research on this as far as that conversation. But yeah, 1,184 players that's going to get cut could potentially go back to college. That is wild, depending on the percentage of those players who still have availability could potentially go back to college, take roster spots from people who, wow. This is getting quite messy. I'll be honest, this is getting messy. Okay. And I'm not talking about the soccer champ. I'm talking about, all right, this is getting really messy. I'm getting bad. That's going to cause a whole new conversation. Yeah, the verbs him, her, they, them, it, what the hell are they called in school now? Shared bathrooms is getting the same. Dwayne said, because we live in a nation of entitlement, everybody thinks they have the right to be heard to the point where they don't care about their neighbor. Yeah. 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 All right, y'all. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for coming, tuning in to Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and the TV as well, WDAP TV. I will see y'all very shortly for Monday Night Madness, in which I have an entire lineup for Monday Night Madness coming up. I'll give you a clue on some of the things we're going to talk about. We'll talk about the NFC. We'll talk about the NFL preseason. We'll have a couple of NFL debates. We'll talk NBA, a couple moves being made in the NBA. We'll talk about that. We will also have Rise Up or Man Down trivia, 5 questions. Yeah, I got 5 questions for y'all. And I got some nicknames. I might start doing a couple reels for these nicknamed folks. But nevertheless, it's going to be a good Monday Night Madness show coming up. All right. I will see y'all shortly, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. All right. See y'all on the other side in a minute.